just have a little check of the temperature in your space. It's been warm, it's been cool, it's been warm, it's been cool. So, depending where you are, what your space is like, you might want a blanket or an extra layer, or you might not. So I'm just going to give you another minute to do anything that you need to do. And then when you feel that you have found your comfortable position, if you haven't already, you might start to close the eyes. If it feels a bit abrupt just to kind of close the eyes, then you could try slow blinking. So like the eyelids become heavy until they eventually come to a close. And then you might take a nice deep breath in through the nose and let a little sigh come out of the mouth. And with that, perhaps you release from your day. So we release from our doing into our being state. Just notice any sounds around you. Without attachment, without particular opinion of whether you find them nice or not as pleasant. And then if you really listen in and focus awareness in, can you hear the sound of your own breath? Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe you're unsure. So there is no right or wrong. There's no trick questions. If the sound is harder to pinpoint, move to sensation. And you might place a hand or both hands on the area or areas of the body where you feel that the breath is most prominent and expansive. And for the next few exhales, just allow that breath to creep into every corner of the body and soften it. So our practice of Nidra is about finding this restful state for body and a gentle alertness or awareness of the mind. And the practice is working through your mind. So you will, of course, interpret things differently to someone else. Some things might resonate, some things might not. So try not to linger too much on anything. Try not to overcomplicate it. Allow it to be there and then gone. And we're right on the cusp of a full moon. So this is called our full flower moon. And you might like to imagine at the heart space or at the belly that this becomes a flower. So maybe at the moment it's just a bud. And with each exhale, it just starts to open a little bit wider. And maybe your flower takes quite a while to come into full bloom, and that's okay. Maybe your flower blooms quite quickly, and that's okay too. So wherever you've placed this flower, if you're a visual person, you might be seeing it in the mind. As you exhale, it expands and blossoms outwards. And if it's reached full bloom at this point, just spend a few moments focusing on that flower as you breathe. And you might travel the whole of this flower around the body in a moment. You might travel a bud, a petal, or nothing at all. Maybe you're just traveling awareness. And we'll take our awareness to the palm of the right hand. So maybe your flower is in the palm of the right hand, just resting gently. Maybe it's a bud. Maybe it's a single petal. And awareness shifts to the tip of the thumb. The first, the second, the third, and the fourth finger. The back of the right hand and the right wrist. And maybe you scatter your petals all the way up the right arm, past the right elbow. And you come to the right shoulder. The right armpit. Down the right side body. To the right hip. Into the groin space. And you might rest your flower, your bud, or your awareness just at the groin space, perhaps around the genital area. From here, we'll maybe sprinkle our petals around the right thigh, come past the right knee, and go into the right lower leg, all the way down to the right ankles, the top of the right foot, the first, second, third, fourth, fifth toe, the sole of the right foot and the right heel. And then can you spend a moment of your awareness just imagining all of that connected, so that journey down the right side of the body. And rest in awareness of that right side of your body. And let's place our awareness or our object in the palm of the left hand. Just gently sits there. Our awareness then touches the left thumb tip and all the way down the fingers. Left hand. Back of hand, left wrist. Sprinkling all the way up that left arm to touch on the left shoulder. Left armpit. Glide down the left side body into the hip, the groin space, and settle your awareness there. If it doesn't feel comfortable to settle awareness around the groin or the genital area, then just place your awareness slightly higher around the low belly. And perhaps you can find an awareness of that journey, the left side of the body. Perhaps you can find an awareness of the right and the left side of the body. Maybe, maybe not. Come down that left thigh, leg, past the ankles, top of the foot. Place the awareness on each of the toes, the sole of the foot and the heel of the foot. And does one side of the body feel more heavy or more light, more spacious or more tense? Take a nice deep breath in and out. Let's bring our awareness to the base of the spine. And you might place your flower there, you might place your bud there. If you're working with this sense of a flower, each time you exhale, just gently opens. If it works for you, as you inhale, it might draw to a close. So just spend a couple of moments there. And from the base of the spine, it's like the flower starts to grow all the way up the spine. So remembering the spine is not a straight line, it has its quirks. So nice and slowly, you might take 5 or 6 full breaths here. Travel from the base of the spine and eventually arrive at the top of the spine. And maybe your flower grows really quickly and you arrive at the top of the spine. That's okay. Maybe it takes a little bit longer, and that's okay too. And eventually we arrive at the top of the spine. And we continue to bring the energy or this growing flower up the back of the head, the top of the head, down into the forehead, and place our awareness or object at the space between the brows. So our space of intuition. And this full moon is linked to our intuition or our gut feeling. Expand awareness to the right temple, the left temple, the right eyebrow, the left eyebrow. The right eye, the left eye. The right cheek, the left cheek. The right nostril, the left nostril. Take a breath in and out. Be aware of the air in the nostrils. The right ear, the left ear. The upper lip, lower lip. The chin, jawline, throat space. Right collarbone, left collarbone. Space between them. The right side of the upper chest, the left side, and then to the heart space, where we settle our awareness, or again, our object there. And if it serves you, you breathe in, and as you breathe out, this expansion. And what colour would you maybe assign to your flower if you had one? Or if a flower doesn't work for you, what colour would you assign to the heart space in this area? Maybe you see the expansion of colour each time you breathe out. Right rib cage, left rib cage, down to the right side of the belly, the left side of the belly, to the belly button, and just below the belly button. Perhaps we can feel our breath gently moving in the belly. If we were to name our flower, would we have a name for it? Would there be a word that we would bring into our practice? Healing, love, joy, peace. So almost like an intention or a sankalpa. What would it be that we would want to spread around the body? To feel inside the body, outside the body. And can we start to recognize the whole of the body? So everything that we've explored and more, all of the spaces and the places, the very edges and boundaries of the body in whatever position we're in, the internal body, the volume, the space, the organs, the cells. Maybe we can imagine or feel that, maybe not. And is there a heaviness or a lightness to the body? Or something else? And our next few breaths out, just allowing ourselves to sink a little bit deeper into our rest. If the mind interrupts, take a nice deep breath. And maybe you anchor yourself to your breath, to your flower, or to a part or area of your body, or even your word if you were using one. What does it feel like to rest? Let's bring our awareness back to our heart. Maybe just to this place or this space physically, maybe to our flower form, maybe to our colour, or maybe to our word or intention. And we'll rest it at the heart space. So almost like we're having a quiet conversation with the heart while we rest. And maybe the heart just peacefully listens, or maybe it whispers back. So a poignant time for intention, direction, as we come into our full moon. And in a moment, I'm going to start to count down from 10 to 0. So there's no need to physically move unless you feel called to. And at the end of the count, I'll state this practice of Yoga Nidra is complete. You might stay where you are. You might start to have a little wiggle and to move around. And we'll close out the practice just in silence. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This practice of Yoga Nidra is complete. Take a nice deep breath in and maybe let a gentle sigh